probably have a bottle of olive oil sitting in your kitchen right now. But what if I told you that applying it to certain parts of your body, yes, applying, not eating, could make a difference in how you feel tomorrow morning? Sounds strange? Maybe. But this method is based on generations of traditional use in the Mediterranean, and now modern research is catching up. It's not about superstition. It's about improving circulation, reducing inflammation, and supporting areas of the body that often get ignored as we age. In this video, I'll walk you through the 4 key areas where men over 50 can apply olive oil, why it works, how to do it properly, and what kind of changes you might feel within just a few days. Take John, for example. He's 58, lives in Colorado, and was skeptical at first. But after giving this a try, he noticed something shift. If you're looking for a simple, natural way to feel more like yourself again, this could be it. Let's dive in. It's not some new pill. It's not a supplement. And it's definitely not what you'd expect. Men over 50 are quietly trying something that goes completely against what most of us were taught. They're rubbing extra virgin olive oil, yes, the same kind you cook with, on certain areas of their body, and many of them are reporting results they never thought possible. John was one of them. He started doing this after reading a blog post that seemed half-baked. But after just 1 week, he said he woke up with more energy, a warmer feeling in his lower body, and a sense that his circulation was finally waking up again. It sounds too simple, but for some men, it's exactly what they needed. So the big question is, how can applying olive oil to your skin possibly support blood flow, performance, and confidence? Let's start with where this idea actually came from. This idea didn't come from a lab. It came from tradition, passed down quietly through generations in places like Naples, Crete, and coastal Spain. In these regions, men have long used olive oil not just for cooking, but as part of their wellness routines. It wasn't uncommon for older men to rub warm olive oil into their lower back or abdomen after a long day or before sleep. They didn't talk about it much. It was just understood. What's interesting is that men in these cultures tend to stay more active and report fewer issues with blood flow and performance as they age, despite eating rich food, drinking wine, and living full lives. Compare that to what we see in the US, where many men in their 50s and 60s are on multiple medications and still feel sluggish. The difference? Maybe it's not just what they eat. Maybe it's also what they apply. Now researchers are starting to ask, what's really happening when olive oil touches the skin? Let's look at the science. Here's the part that surprises most people. Your skin isn't a solid wall. It's actually more like a living filter. Certain substances, especially oils, can pass through the outer layers and reach the tissue underneath. And extra virgin olive oil is uniquely suited for this. It's rich in oleic acid, a fatty acid that helps break down barriers in the skin and allows better absorption. It also contains squalene, which mimics the natural oils in our body and helps carry nutrients deeper. And then there's vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that supports skin cells and reduces inflammation. In other words, when applied to specific areas, olive oil doesn't just sit on top. It goes in. It interacts. It supports. Some researchers believe this interaction may help stimulate local blood flow, reduce stiffness, and create a warming sensation, especially in areas with high nerve density. And that leads us to the big question.
If olive oil can be absorbed, where exactly should it go? Let's explore the 4 body zones that seem to matter most.
Not all skin is the same, and where you apply olive oil matters more than you think. There are 4 zones on the male body that seem to respond best. Zones with high blood flow, dense nerves, and direct links to pelvic function. The first is the lower abdomen, just below the belly button and above the pubic bone. This area sits right over major arteries that supply the pelvic region. The second is the inner thighs. This zone has large surface veins, important lymphatic pathways, and is often tight and understimulated in men who sit a lot. The third is the perineum, the area between the scrotum and anus. It might feel awkward, but this spot is rich in nerve endings and lies directly over pelvic floor muscles. And finally, the lower back, just above the tailbone. This is where the sacral nerves originate, the same nerves that control the genitals and pelvic organs. Applying warm olive oil to these zones and massaging gently may help stimulate circulation, relax tension, and bring back that connected feeling many men say they've lost. And once you know where to apply, the next step is how.
First, warm the oil slightly, not hot, just enough so it feels like body temperature. You can place the bottle in a mug of warm water for a few minutes. Next, pour a small amount into your palm. Don't overdo it, just enough to lightly coat your fingers. Now, apply it to one of the 4 zones we talked about: lower abdomen, inner thighs, perineum, or lower back. Use gentle circular motions. Think of it like smoothing in a warm lotion. Not scrubbing, not pushing deep. Just enough pressure to feel connection, not tension. If you're applying to your lower back, it helps to lean slightly forward or rest your hands on a counter. For the inner thighs, prop one leg up on a low stool to open the area. And for the perineum, do this in a seated or semi-squat position with a clean towel underneath. Total time? About 2 to 3 minutes per zone is enough. Some men do this at night, right after brushing their teeth. Others make it part of their post-shower routine. What matters is consistency. And before we move on, a quick word of caution. Don't apply to broken skin or rashes, and always test a small area first if you've never used olive oil on your skin before. Now, let's make sure you're not doing any of this in a way that cancels out the benefits.
Even something as simple as applying olive oil can go wrong if you're not careful. Here are 5 mistakes that men often make and how to avoid them. Mistake 1, using cold oil straight from the fridge. This shocks the skin and can tighten surface blood vessels instead of relaxing them. Always warm the oil slightly. Mistake 2, applying too much. More is not better. A thin layer is all you need. Too much can block pores or make the area uncomfortable. Mistake 3, rubbing too hard. You're not giving a deep tissue massage. Pressing too hard can irritate nerves or cause soreness. Gentle is more effective. Mistake 4, being inconsistent. Doing it once or twice won't create change. This is like brushing your teeth. You don't skip it and expect results. Mistake 5, ignoring the body's signals. If a spot feels irritated, itchy, or weird after applying, don't push through. Adjust or stop. Your body knows best. Avoiding these common mistakes can make the difference between interesting and life-changing. And now that you know what not to do, let's talk about what might actually start to change.
Not everyone feels the same effects, but for many men, changes come in quiet, steady waves. Here's how John described it. Week 1. He said he didn't notice much on day 1, but by night 3 he slept deeper and woke up without that usual stiffness in his lower back. He also felt warmer around his core. Week 2 through 3, mornings got easier. He found himself stretching more without even thinking. And one morning, he realized something odd. He was waking up slightly aroused again, something he hadn't noticed in years. Months 2 through 6. He didn't feel like a teenager, but he said his body felt more on his side than against him. Fewer trips to the bathroom at night. More drive, more presence, more ease in intimacy. For some men, these changes come sooner. For others, it takes time. But the common thread is this: they didn't just use the oil. They stuck with it. And for many, that consistency made all the difference. In Mediterranean cultures, it was never strange for men to care for their bodies. They didn't call it biohacking or wellness. It wasn't about chasing performance. It was about honoring the machine that carries you through life. Some of those men lived long, passionate, connected lives, not because of one thing, but because they took care in small ways every day. This oil ritual might seem odd at first, but once you try it, it becomes something else. A moment of calm, a moment of intention, a moment that belongs to you. So whether it's after you're brushing your teeth, after your shower, or before bed, make it a habit. Because what you do for your body, it remembers.